Looking forward to it. Bob, it is great to see you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. How the heck are you?
I'm good. I wish we had something to talk about.
Oh, geez. Well, I got a lot of questions to ask you. Bob,
Fire away.
Robinhood, GameStop. I mean, it seems like it's all a big sign. GameStop, Robinhood. What's going on with that whole thing?
Okay, so because I've been explaining this a lot lately. So I want to back up to the ultimate culprit and then explain to you, kind of who's dirty here, who got caught up in the wash and all that good stuff. So, first of all, short selling in and of itself is not evil or bad. Okay, you actually need short sellers in the market because you need to have a release valve on companies that are overvalued. If you didn't, one day a company could be worth $50 a share, the next day could be worth $3. So you need people in the market betting the other way because it kind of creates this oscillation back and forth. So that being said, what happened with GameStop was the this particular hedge fund and maybe others that were attacking with it, they went ahead and they sold more shares than there were out there. Whenever you hear somebody say it was 140% of the float, that means there was 140 shares that were sold short against only 100 shares that were even out there available to trade. So that means there's 40 fraudulent shares out there, basically 40% more. Well, that's impossible unless you're cheating. And so, you always hear about the silver manipulation, how JP Morgan and all those guys, the bullion banks have sold more contracts short than the available contracts to deliver the silver. Well, that's the same thing that with GameStop is that, the way in which you get shares to short is the broker holds all these stock certificates in their name, basically they're credited to you. So one of the things that people don't realize is that you're an unsecured creditor to the broker. Now you're backed by the SIPC up to like $500,000, $250,000 of cash, but you don't own those stocks unless you get the stock certificate or you get them put in your name. And so what they do is, because they hold them, the way in which they make money is that they offer those shares to be shorted, and then they collect fees and they collect interest on that. That's why you have commission-free trading. Again, in and of itself, not evil, not good. It just business practice, been around for a long time. What happened here was either through malice or incompetence, or there's some sort of break in the system, 140 shares of a ratio to 100 were lent out. So somebody lent out more shares than they were allowed to lend out. So there's dirty brokers in this, and there's dirty hedge funds in this. Okay, normally you would never know anything about this, okay? Because two things happen. One is they're right and they cover. So we don't know how many times they've done this and just won and win, or they have proper protection on. And I just did an interview with a gentleman who's a farmer. The way I explained it is that, you have 100 acres of growing corn. I'm just going to make the number up. Let's say you get 1 bushel per 100 acres. Okay, so, and you hit it exactly. So you have 100 bushels of corn. You could sell that forward, basically, against what you think you're going to deliver in the fall. So what these guys did was they sold 140 bushels ahead, hoping that the price would be falling and they could find buyers of corn from another farm and bring it in. So, but there is no other farm. There's only that many shares of stock. And so you usually protect yourself in these situations so that if it goes against you, you usually just close the trade and move on. Well, these guys, not only did they take on more shares than they were allowed to, they didn't protect themselves. They didn't get crop insurance, okay? Saying, oh, it's going against me, that I need to cover my trade, or I need to put what's called a call option on it so that my losses are mitigated as it goes up because the call option will go up with it. And so you can stay in the game longer. Apparently, either they didn't do enough of that or they didn't do it at all. And somebody over at Reddit WSB subgroup figured it out. Okay. Now you can get this information, but either people weren't paying attention to it or they got the information right away on the disclosure and they jumped it. And then they told all their friends on the subreddit board, which at the time I think was 2 million people. So by the time this thing started to rip, it was 40% of all Robinhood traders had at least one share of GameStop stock. Now enter Robinhood. So normally in that situation I was telling you about, you hold the shares in name only, but the broker really owns them. Is that when you do a trade, the money doesn't go out of your account into the broker's account back into your account. What happens is it's all memo posted until the end of the day. And then that trade is cleared and it goes to a clearinghouse. So Robinhood basically ran out of cash that the clearinghouse allowed for them to make the trades without them putting more cash into the bank. And so Robinhood then got caught short on this. Now, obviously Robinhood was trying to hope that it wouldn't come to that, because the last thing you want to tell people is you don't have enough capital. Okay. So they're probably hoping maybe we can restrict, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, maybe we cool it off the heat. And it just enraged these guys more and they pushed it up even higher, forced Robinhood into these draconian decisions, which they're legally allowed to do most of them. Some of them I think are going to get pushed back on, but it just then made everybody really angry. And then people getting nervous saying maybe Robinhood's going to go bankrupt. They're running out of capital. So they had to go tap all their financial lines and then they had to actually borrow money, because what happens is you have to wait 3 days to settle those funds. So if you keep trading like a maniac, okay, over the next 2 or 3 days, and you go broke as a trader, the broker's on the hook, okay? And that clearinghouse is going to make the broker make good on those trades. And so that's why all these limits are put into the system. So that's how I got all the way up to this this clearinghouse. And so the other dirty party in this is, and I'll use my words carefully because dirty is a pejorative word. I would say people doing things that probably shouldn't be allowed to do is that Citadel front ran all the trades in Robinhood. They pay for it. Okay. That's why you saw Citadel and some of these other guys write checks to keep Melvin Capital, the hedge fund, afloat, because Citadel owns Melvin Capital. You see where I'm going with this? Citadel sees the trades coming from Robinhood. So they all have information they shouldn't be having, and they can inform Melvin Capital. I'm sure they say there is Chinese walls, but you know how whispers happen, right? And so you got this triangle, this thing. That's what David Portnoy went off on. Remember him? He went nuts. He called out Stephen Cohen. He just called him a crook. He called him this. He called him that. I don't know enough of the nuts and bolts of the whys and wherefores to really make that claim. All I'm going to say is it's conflict of interest, and we hit the extreme activities that brought all this out. So now you have a situation where Robinhood's losing customers left and right. Now they're restricting all these kinds of trades so they can make sure no other short sellers go bust. I'm sure every risk capital officer out there and all these hedge funds are saying, you got to bring these trades back into alignment or you need to hedge them more effectively. And so the bottom line from this is there'll probably be more regulations. There's going to be really unhappy retail traders. And this will probably top the market because a lot of this activity was pushing what they call gamma. What gamma means is that if your stock is trading here and you have a lot of people thinking it's going to go here and they buy calls for it, as it sucks up, it's like the Doppler effect. When a train comes towards you, the sound is different. you know it's coming your way. Well, that's gamma for stock trading. So it sucks up to where that all that activity is in a very accelerated manner. And that's what's been sucking the stock market up since basically September 1st. And now we have the stimulus delayed, and we have now these hedge funds don't have to protect themselves now. Market makers don't have to protect themselves now if they start putting more of these regulations on. That means they're going to be selling stocks that they were obligated to hold because they are making the other side of the call trades. So it's a big mess, and it always comes down to they over leveraged and they sold things they didn't own. That's like me selling your house. I don't own your house, but I sold it and I took the money. And then somebody shows up with the moving van, you're like, what are you doing here? I sold your house. And that's what happened here. They sold GameStop stock that they wasn't even in existence. So if the system was right, there'd be people going to jail. There'd be at least people getting fined. There should be some companies that go out of business. But knowing our day and age, they're probably all of them have probably sent campaign contributions to the current regime, and nothing's going to happen. They're going to make a lot of noise. Some fines will happen. They'll pay some blood money, and they'll just go right back to where they were, because last thing Biden needs is a stock market crash on his watch. People are already nervous enough about the guy. So that's the long and short of GameStop. And GameStop is unique. AMC is a little same, but not as extreme. But there's a lot of them. So what these guys are doing is they're just looking to see what stocks are most shorted, and they're taking shots at these companies to see how durable the short sellers are. And so we probably won't see another GameStop anytime soon. They took a shot at it with silver, went up one day, came back down some, but there's a difference with silver. I'll take a breath so you can talk, and then I'll explain that.
Oh man, I wanted you to keep going. I'm just like, wow. I was going to ask you about silver, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But really, what it sounds like is, even though the media is pushing this as the little guy won, he might have won the battle, but clearly the war is going to be won by the big business.
Yeah, don't
That
be
sucks.
that Reddit blog, that whatever that forum. It's chock full of big guys. So they get the little guys running. Just they got the buffalo herd in motion, right? And then they just piled in. You don't know who anybody these people are. I mean, as far as I know, they could be at 10,000. Could be from China, or Korea, or you know how they did it with the crypto coins, right? Remember, you get a bunch of guys from Korea together, and they just start ripping the alts one after the other. They just start a pump and dump. So, the Reddit guys are, to me, neither heroes or anti-heroes. The only reason why people flock to them is because people are so angry with Wall Street that they like when one of their own gets a black eye.
Okay. I can see.
That's the story.
Yeah. And actually, thank you for explaining that in such detail, because I understand it a lot better now. And that's really important to me. I wanted to know what was behind it. When I see the media pushing things a certain way, intuitively, I'll pick up on a lot of like what you were saying. That's what I was picking up on intuitively. This isn't going to benefit the little guy in the long run by any means. Now, with that being said, I remember just right after the alternative forums and news forums were silver, 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 silver. And I'm a huge fan of physical silver. I'm a huge fan as a trader, sometimes trading silver miners. But the way that it was put, the way that the alternative media, blog after blog after blog about how they were attempting to do was to silver or some type of silver stock, what they did with GameStop, I found that very interesting. And I did see like an underlying agenda behind it.
Yeah, and look, and there's a lot more people that want silver to go up than want GameStop to go up. So, and the silver thing is a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody knows that London and New York are suppressing the price of these precious metals, and food prices too, for at the commodity level as well. They've been doing it for decades. It's an open secret, and but they got a problem now because in the past they would get traders. The silver you have to buy so many bars to take physical delivery from the custodian when options expire, that most people say roll it over. Okay. and because they don't want to deal with it. Well, they've all done the math. They say X% of the people are going to want their physical. So then they figure out a leverage table where I can leverage up 5 times, I can leverage up 10 times. Well, they got to the point where they leveraged up 100 times. Basically, they're assuming that nobody's going to get the physical, and they can just keep leveraging this thing. Well, this time around, that may not be the case. All the they sold everybody out of everything, and so there's only so much mine production. And you got to realize silver is going into the new electric future, right? 2 ounces of silver for every solar panel. Okay, silver is going into all these antibiotic, antiviral equipment in the labs. Okay, silver is going to be involved in superconductive, activities around wiring and stuff like that. So, and then silver production has been curtailed because the prices were too low for many of the miners to operate. So now you have all these brokers, exchanges out there that basically sell silver for a living, right? APMEX and yada yada yada. Well, they don't have any more left, so they're going to drive a delta between physical spot and the paper contract. Well, if it gets to be too big, it's just going to be too obvious, to hide what they're doing. Invite, litigation that may stick this time, And so I'm expecting, toward the end of February, they popped it and then it pulled back. You got to realize the move in silver started happening 2 weeks ago. It didn't happen on Friday. It was already coming up. This was just kind of like a bit of a blow off, but it didn't come all the way back down. It filled the gaps. Now we got to watch over the next 2 to 3 weeks. If it starts curving back this way again, then we know that they're going to have to keep raising the price of the futures contract in order for them to attract people to basically roll the contract and take their profit and not look for the silver. But now that this Reddit subgroup has 10 million people in there, if everybody buys 1 ounce of silver in the next 3 weeks, that's 10 million ounces. You break the system. So that's where you're going to start seeing a lot of fanning the flame to the end of February, because every month they settle the contract. Okay, the people roll the contract, then they lost the contract, or they're going to take physical. And it's the people taking physical you got to watch. And if there's enough of them, fireworks, much higher prices.
Well, I read an article the other day, actually, via Epoch, and it was many of the big metal markets, like the big companies selling physical metals, they were out of stock. And
Right.
yeah, this was the 30, we're going back to the 31st, mind you, but still there was several major players that were completely out of inventory to sell. And so now I'm seeing, okay, so let's say people finally start saying, we want physical silver. And then they start to get physical silver. That's I would think that would be great for the price on not only physical silver, but even better possibly for some of these miners.
Yeah. So one of the good guys that causes this to be a virtuous signal is that these miners sell futures contract against what they're going to produce that year because they need the cash. And so to operate, especially since prices were suppressed, part of the evil of illegal suppression. Well, if prices get higher, okay, they can instead of selling forward, they can do what's called secondary stock offerings and raise capital that way. And once they raise capital that way, they don't have to sell their contract forward, meaning they're taking supply out of the system, which raises prices, which gets into that loop, and then it puts the silver house in jeopardy at current prices, and they gotta lift it until they find a price that they can clear all the contracts. So that's what helps the miners. And some of these miners, you can buy silver direct. You don't have to even go through an exchange. Like I know First Majestic, where I bought my physical, you just get it right from them. They stamp a coin, silver ounce, First Majestic on it.
Put Trade Genius on there.
Trade Genius is pure gold, baby.
that's what I'm talking about. Hello. Touche.
No, I'm funny, but we're I like gold, but I love silver better. So because it's so much more upside to it. When silver goes, it blows like a volcano. So it's always good to have a position in it. One of the trades that we're in yesterday went up in a matter of 20 minutes after the open, went up almost 90% before it settled back. So, once these things go, they can go. And in 2011, you can make 7, 8 times your money. So that's why a lot of people are like, okay, let's go. It's like a sailboat race. When are we going to get permission to go forward? So, so you're looking at some of my trades here.
I wanted to show these off while you were talking. This, it's great because another thing we were discussing off the air is a lot of people are excited about cryptos, but they're still more comfortable in stocks. And there's now like ways that the stocks are connected to the cryptos. There's a few stocks that are kind of hand in glove.
Yeah.
Correct?
So there's 4 or 5 of them that we trade and I trade. Is you're talking obviously GBTC. You're talking Grow, GROW, Riot, RIOT, and one that probably a lot of people don't follow unless you're really crypto savvy, MARA. And then I guess there's a new one out, a new GBTC like guy out there with less of a commission structure. And I guess Ethereum's coming next for Grayscale. So you don't even have to open a crypto account to take advantage of what's happening in crypto. And so what we do is we have our algorithm, we have our indicators, and we have our alerts. So like we trade Riot a lot, GBTC a lot, and you get buy signals. And these things are moving enough now where you can get 5, 10, 15% moves in these things in a couple of days. And so if you buy it at the right price, sell it at the right price, you can make a lot of money or good return over a fairly short period of time. And then one of the things that I've done is, basically put together some templates within our indicator package for myself just so I could follow these crypto stocks and get my own personal alerts. And so, if anybody wants to join our service by Saturday of this week, if they mention your name when they purchase to our sales team, is that I will give them access to those templates. I'll copy my personal templates and forward it to them so that they can actually be ready to go right out of the gate. And that's my gift to you for people that want to take advantage of going business with us. In addition to the discounts that we always give, 65% off, and then 40% Valentine's is the promo code if you want to buy anything that's standalone. But you got to take advantage by Saturday. So I'll put a cliff on you, but I will give you something that is pure gold that'll help you get out of the chute right away trading. In addition, I still signal them out. I'm still in the chat room. We still train you how to use these indicators. I'll just give you some additional templates that you can just plug and play and go. My gift to you through Rex.
Thank you. That's much appreciated. I was going to ask you about that. I just kind of wanted to show off a few of these trades that people have done recently with Trade Genius. And I took advantage of a trade alert and I got some Ethereum. And today Ethereum popped just over the past 24 hours. It's popped almost 15%. Hello, Shawing.
I think Litecoin's moving too today. I was so busy on the stock side. I know a lot of Litecoin, and I noticed it was pushing over 140. So I think Litecoin's ready to light a fuse here pretty soon myself.
Yeah, I love Litecoin. Now, a lot of people are asking about Bitcoin. I want to talk about Bitcoin just for a minute, in a minute. But like, for example, the EDSA, 55%, dude. Wow. That's
so these are so these are trades that we signal out to people. We have Telegram room and we push the trade out. We give you a stop loss in case we're wrong. We give you a target in case we're right. And then people take the trade. This trade happened to be 55%. We're in these trades 3 to 5 days. So that one just rocketed it and people took advantage of it. And then this one, the rig is an oil driller. I mean, that's a same day trade. That's why he was saying it already passed the target. We just put it out there. We got in and within that same day, and my targets are at least 5%. That's not bad for a day trade. No. So here's Tillery, the dope stock, and so you notice the guy said here, rig up 5%. That's where we had our target. I literally got in, people got in, and within a couple hours, they already made 5%, got out.
A lot of people are at home, I mean, they're at home, they're looking for other things to do. And, you got some skin in the game with this. So it's exciting, but don't do anything stupid either. I mean, you never want to put in your entire house in something like this. That's
we tell people you have to break up your trades, and we're very careful about setting stops, putting limits in. Look, you don't have to take any trade I signal these things out so that the system works. My whole goal is to get you up to speed so you can do a lot of this stuff yourself. But I put trades out every day. And this is what I like the best. She bought rigs. She basically paid her annual membership off in one trade. So our prices are very reasonable. Okay. And these are small traders. She says started small. You know what I mean? And this guy here, I throw some lottos out. Okay. And basically, he purchased this one, and I usually, if you do a lotto, you're in 100%, and boom, he made 575% on his trade. Not bad.
Ain't too shabby, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So so there's those are, and I just made these are all from last week, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. 77%.
Yeah. So this is what we do. Boom, 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 boom. So every day we try to do the trade. We win two times out of 3, which is very good.
You could be on the beach doing it too. Just got to have an internet connection or a cell phone.
I can't see the screens. You need those polarized glasses and a polarized screen, and it's too damn hot. It's windy. It's salty. So the nice thing about this is you do most of your trades in the first couple hours of the day, and then you're free. Do what you want. Go have fun. Reason why you trade freedom. So
virtual reality helmet on the beach. You're not looking at the beach. It's like, dude, have you seen the new virtual reality? I'm like, dude, have you seen real reality? It's even better.
Yeah, you fall in one of the holes. So thanks for sharing that. But we do right by our clients, and we help them. We teach them how to do this, and you've been a client for a long time yourself, so you know it works.
I love it. I'm having a blast. It's been wonderful for me and my friends. And I've actually, dude, my friend Julian, who we call the architect, he's the guy that makes these tinfoil caps. He lives in the UK, and I want to use one of his testimonials. I was talking to him today on Skype. He's with Trade Genius, and he got into some Bitcoin and a few other trades several months ago. He just bought I don't know if it's brand new, but if it isn't brand new, it looks brand new. Not an AMG, a C63 Mercedes, and it is gorgeous. And I said, can I show off? Because he took a picture of the back of it with his license plate. I said, hey, can I show this off the podcast? He's like, yeah, dude. And he said, you gonna tell him I did it with Bitcoin and trade too? I said, yeah. He said, sure. So yeah, that's a pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like most people in the UK are like, they're freaking out. He's out buying Mercedes Benz. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who runs our crypto room is, he's a certified genius. I mean, he's a miner. Nobody knows crypto better than he does, and he's one of the architects of our algorithm, the package that we have. So, he's just extremely good. He knows the coins, he knows the methodology, he knows the stock to flow. He doesn't flinch. He tells us when it's getting overbought. Make sure you have enough you're going to hold for a long time. In 2017, when the thing went to 21,000 and it dropped to 3,000, we didn't really lose any clients because Phil was so good at explaining to people how this process is going to work. And look what happened. A lot of people last year loaded back up around 5,000-6,000. And what did we do? We hit 42 grand, pushed back some. Now it's starting to push forward again at about 35K. There's very few alternatives to fiat out there, and crypto is one of them. And they'll tell you what garbage coins to stay away from and all that stuff. Not everything's a good trade. So so we have an expert in the room, And you know, a lot of times like on Friday when we're shutting down stocks, he's lighting that room up all weekend. So he's yeah, I think he's not only a trader and a mentor, he's also obsessed himself. He just loves it. He does very, very well.
So where do you see, and where does your partner see the Bitcoin short term and midterm?
Well, I mean, look, you know, we need some sort of consolidation. This move was massive, you know, and but what's happening now is institutions are starting to come in. Now, endowment funds are now joining the party. Okay. Football players are getting paid in it. Okay. So it's reached its second level of awareness, if you will. That means that the cells are going to be more shallow because institutional money and more sophisticated money is not as fearful as pure retail. And so, you know, we're basically, you know, consolidating on a high right here. But if it drifts back up to 42,000 again, it's not going to be a double top. It's going to be a rocket launch. And that's going to take us into six figures. But how long, you know, the consolidation lasts, you know, it's hard to say. But, you know, we think it's between 24,000 and you know, and where we are today before it starts to drift higher again to make its next move. So, but we don't care. So we just look at our algorithm. It tells us when to buy, it tells us when to sell, tells you when to add, tells you when to take off your ad. You know, so you're just slowly stacking the whole time is sticking around at this price level, and then when it goes, you have more coin. Then you're even happier. So that's how we see it. But look, they're gonna spend $6 trillion. They're gonna go with digital currencies. They're gonna, you know, they're going to go negative interest rates. You know, that can't help but drive gold, silver, crypto, the alternate currencies sky high.
Well, you know what? I got something in the mail for, it was a card that has your, you know, financial aid package, I guess, that's in there. And so they're not even handing out checks anymore. It's a card, it's digital. So like you said, it's a digital thing. And I find that fascinating. But I found this. This is from Julian. He says, and I'll show you the picture in a minute. You like my personalized plate? They cost money over here. LOL. I said, oh yeah, they do here too, because he's in the UK. I said, can I show it off on a podcast? He goes, yeah, if you want to. You can say about crypto, Bitcoin too. Crypto, and so he's asked me this. I'm like, yeah, great, thanks. He goes, I got some nice pics. He sends me a few more pics. I said, is that an AMG? I said, oh, C63. Nice. He goes, yeah. I go, twin turbo. He goes, yeah, it's a normally aspired V8, approximately 500 horsepower. Nice. So yeah, let me show this, man. This is so cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Way to go, Julie. You're rocking, bro, man. Super excited. And you know, it's nice to have options. It's nice to have options. And it's nice to be able to do things like this out of the convenience of our house or wherever we are, as long as we have some way to connect to the web and you know, kind of get out of the system, get away from the man as much as possible. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and we'll, you know, do our best to stay out of the Borg as much as possible. But I'm having fun, man. I hope you're having fun too. And I appreciate you spending time with us. And any other kind words you want to share with us or words of wisdom before we finish this up?
Yeah, you know, just you know, if Biden was your president that you picked, congratulations. If Biden wasn't, no fear. You know, if you don't like what they're doing, become a lemonade maker. Okay, just take those lemons, turn them into lemonade, and go. You know, you have to get up every day and dust yourself off anyway. So it doesn't help you to be depressed, despondent, angry. You look at those people that got angry at the Capitol. They're now they overplayed their hand. There's gonna be some punishment to those folks. You know, and you know, so it's just like the rioters. You know, just it's not worth it. You know, we're above it. We'll win because our ideas are better, and it will trump the evil. So have faith.
You know, Bob, that's so cool. I was talking to my dad yesterday. He was military for 20 years, retired, master sergeant, and he was stationed in Fort Bragg. He Golden Knight, jumped out of airplanes, and you know, he had a pretty cool life in the Army. Kind of got treated like a rock star because of what he did. You know, doing cool tricks out of airplanes and stuff. But we were talking about the situation, and like you said, make lemonade out of lemons, if that's what you're given, and we will prevail. But thanks for your service. I appreciate it. Thanks for
Yeah,
being
there you
here.
go, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold in here today. Sunny California. Sunny California.
It's
So,
like 80 degrees and 75 and it's chilly. I get it. I used to live in San Antonio. I remember those days.
when it's 60, we put Parkers on. So
Yeah. No, no. Oh, yeah. Is there a special code for the a la carte options? Do they use the
yeah,
code?
Valentine's Day.
What Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Okay. Valentine's Day. But folks, really what you want to do is you want to get those bundled options and let them know Rex from Leak Project sent you so you can take advantage of those templates, and I'll show that off in the future as well. So Bob, much appreciated. Have an amazing day.
Thanks, sir. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna go make some money.